Most people think respect is earned over time. But the truth? Respect is triggered instantly. Everything you say and do sends a signal, and most people get it wrong. In fact, the people who truly command respect don't even ask for it. They don't chase approval. Respect is about shifting your energy in subtle ways that make people feel your presence without you needing to prove anything. So if you've ever felt overlooked, underestimated, or like people don't take you seriously, pay attention. Because by the end of this video, you'll know the key behaviors and mindset shifts that instantly earn respect without saying much at all. You'll know exactly what to do and what to stop doing if you want to trigger immediate respect from anyone, anywhere. Let's begin. Step 1. Command respect before you speak. Respect starts the moment someone notices you, not when you start talking. People size you up within seconds, sometimes before you even sit down. People read your body language, your posture, and your energy before you say a single word. And if you're not intentional with that first impression, people will decide who you are for you. Therefore, when you walk into a space, don't rush. Move with control. Stand tall. Shoulders relaxed. Head up. Not stiff, but grounded. People trust what looks stable. And if you look like you're in control of yourself, people assume you're in control of your life. Small details matter. How you sit. How you take up space. How calm you are when others are anxious. Respect isn't loud, it's anchored. Think about it. Have you ever seen someone walk in, not saying anything, and yet everyone just felt their presence? That's not an accident. That's not charisma. That's controlled energy. And people pick up on it instantly. When your movements are calm and grounded, it tells the room, I'm in control, I don't need to perform. Slow, deliberate movement, no fidgeting, now necessary talking, makes you seem composed and focused. Because if you don't look like you believe in yourself, why should anyone else? Sit like you belong there. Stand like you're rooted. People don't respect tension, they respect certainty. And once you've made that silent impression, how you use silence might be even more powerful. Step 2. Master the power of silence. If you always feel the need to fill the silence, chances are you're giving away your power. The most respected person in the room isn't always the loudest, it's often the quietest. Why? Because silence is a power move. Think about the people you naturally respect. They don't speak just to speak. They wait. They observe. And when they speak, everyone listens. That's because silence creates tension. And in psychology, tension draws attention. People lean in. They wonder what you're thinking. And just like that, you've taken control of the room without saying a word. Silence isn't awkward unless you make it awkward. Used properly, it builds tension and attention. Here's a simple way to use it. Next time someone asks you something, don't rush to answer. Take a breath. Look them in the eye. Then speak, calmly and clearly. That 1-second pause makes you seem thoughtful, deliberate, and confident. And in a world full of people who talk too much and say too little, our silence becomes power. Silence isn't awkward. It's powerful, if you know how to own it. But silence alone isn't enough. When it's time to speak and how you say it can either build respect or break it. Step 3. Stop seeking approval. Here's one of the fastest ways to lose respect, trying too hard to be liked. People can feel it. The over-explaining. The forced smiles. The need to agree with everyone in the room. And while it might win you a few polite nods, it never earns real respect. You don't earn respect by trying to please everyone. In fact, the more you try to be liked, the less seriously people take you. There's a quiet strength in someone who isn't afraid to be misunderstood. That doesn't mean being rude. When you express yourself with honesty, without dressing it up for approval, people notice. They might not always agree with you, but they'll respect the fact that you mean what you say. People who are respected don't chase approval. They don't try to blend in. They don't twist themselves just to keep the peace. They speak honestly, and they let people deal with it. Think about it. When you meet someone who doesn't need validation, someone who just is, you automatically pay closer attention. It's magnetic. Not because they're trying to impress you, but because they're not. Psychology backs this up too. It's called the repulsion effect. When you stand your ground, some people will disagree, and that's okay. But others will respect you more because of your clarity. And those are the ones who matter. Confidence isn't about having all the answers. It's about standing in your truth, even if it's uncomfortable. When you stop performing for validation, people finally see the real you. Therefore, stop asking, "Do they like me?" Start asking, "Do they understand what I stand for?" The first question keeps you performing. The second one builds real presence. And when people know what you're about, when your words, energy, and actions line up, that's when respect becomes automatic. But even your message won't land unless your delivery has weight. And that comes down to how you speak. Step 4, speak like you mean it. The tone of your voice can carry more weight than the words you use. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Speak too fast? You sound unsure. Fill your sentences with like, or you know. You lose authority. You don't need a deep voice to command attention. You need clarity, precision, weight. People respect those who speak like every word matters because it shows confidence, self-control, and presence. Strong communication doesn't require fancy vocabulary, it requires certainty. Fast talkers, filler words, nervous laughter, all of it signals one thing: insecurity. When you slow down, no rambling. No nervous filler when you pause between thoughts, when you cut the fluff and speak with calm certainty. People lean in. People pay attention to those who speak with finality, because it suggests that you don't need to convince anyone. Stop ending your sentences like questions. Don't say, "I think we should probably..." Say, "This is the best move forward." Speak with finality. No second guessing. No trailing off. It's not about being aggressive. It's about being clear. You're not trying to dominate people. You're simply letting them know you're not someone who needs to be doubted. And the best part? This doesn't just change how others see you, it changes how you see yourself. Because when you speak with purpose, your brain starts to believe it. Your posture shifts. Your energy levels up. And respect, real lasting respect, follows. The more intentional your speech becomes, the more confident you'll start to feel. It's not just about how others see you, it's about how you begin to see yourself. Step 5, set boundaries without explaining. People respect people who respect themselves. Nothing screams self-respect louder than setting clear boundaries, unapologetically. Most people don't lose respect because they're too soft. They lose it because they over-explain their limits. They say yes when they mean no. They apologize for having standards. Every time you explain or justify your boundary, you make it weaker. You don't owe anyone a long story. If someone pushes back, that's not your problem. That's their response to losing access to your energy. If something doesn't work for you, you can say no and leave it at that. You don't need to say, "Sorry, I'm just really tired and I have a lot going on and maybe later I can..." Just say, "I won't be able to make it, but I hope it goes well." Short. Clear. Done. The most respected people don't give 10 reasons for their decisions. They don't ask for permission to protect their time or energy. They simply say what they mean and move on. Boundaries show people what you tolerate and what you never will. And here's what happens when you start living this way. People adjust. Fast. They stop pushing. They stop testing. Because they know you mean what you say. And ironically, the more you respect your own limits, the more others start to respect you, without question. Boundaries aren't about being cold or harsh. They're about being solid. And that quiet solidity, that unshakable presence, is what earns real respect. When you stand firm without apology, people get the message quickly. But trying to justify your decisions only weakens them. It sends the message that you're unsure or feel guilty. When you stop making excuses for protecting yourself, you stop inviting people to test you. You start attracting something better, alignment. But to truly own that level of calm confidence, there's one last shift to make, and it has nothing to do with anyone else. Step 6, detach from the outcome. If you only take one thing from this video, let it be this. The moment you stop needing respect is the moment people start giving it to you. Because when you're attached to how people react, when you're constantly scanning for approval, validation, or praise, you give away your power. Think about the most respected people you've ever met. They're grounded, present, unbothered. They're definitely not reacting to every little thing. They don't need everyone to agree. They don't need constant reassurance. They're calm, grounded, and hard to shake because they know who they are. Respect flows to people who are detached from the outcome. The most powerful people are the ones who are unfazed by how others respond. True respect doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from letting go. Here's the twist. When you're okay with walking away, you become more valuable. That applies in business, in dating, in friendships, in any room you walk into. Because people can feel when you're not desperate for their approval, and that changes everything. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop needing a specific result. You show up fully and let people respond however they want. Respect isn't about forcing people to notice you or trying to be liked by everyone in the room. It's about moving through the world like you don't need permission to exist. And when you do that, when your confidence is no longer tied to what anyone thinks or says, you become unshakable. That's the final shift. Because when you don't flinch, people notice. And when you don't chase, people follow. Conclusion. Let's recap what we covered. You earn respect before you even speak. Silence can be louder than words. Chasing approval kills your presence. Speak with conviction, not confusion. Boundaries don't need an explanation. And the real power? Let go of needing anything from anyone. Because the truth is, you don't have to demand respect. You just have to stop blocking it. So here's the question I'll leave you with. Which of these shifts do you already live by? And which one do you need to work on starting today? Drop it in the comments. I'm curious where you're at. And if this video hit something real for you, tap like, hit subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it.